If you have a decent product, a decent website, a good product, and affordable price, then the single biggest change that will actually improve your performance was always changing the messaging in the ads. Messaging equals one takeaway about your brand or the product that customers can carry with them long after they have seen the ad, or something they can say about your product in a single sentence to a friend. For example, if a woman is buying flare pants, then it can be that this flare pants has a four-way stretch. This is the one takeaway message that I can also share. In the sense, women can share with her friends. So that is what messaging is about, and this will have the highest impact, be it any hooks you try, any creatives you make. One thing I need to remember about your brand after watching the ad that influences my buying decision is what a good messaging is. This is a famous ad by David Ogilvy. At 60 miles an hour, the loudest noise in this new Rolls Royce comes from an electric clock. The messaging he is giving out is this Rolls Royce is silent. This is what the aspiration building is. I could have said this Rolls Royce is the most silent car, but he chose to say it in a way that is creative and interesting. He's comparing two things, and that makes it very interesting. So this is how you need to package your USP, your unique value propositions, your benefits into a way that is memorable, interesting also, so that I can carry with me and then share it with my friends. Think in that way. What is the messaging there? Number three, good ad messaging is a fact told in an elegant way. He's telling a fact which is this is the most silent car, but he's telling it in an elegant way that makes it interesting for me to read. A good messaging is always that. Stay till the end of this video as we go through the shortcuts to find the right messaging in your ads. So let's first start on finding the right messaging. So how to identify a right messaging in your target market? First steps would be find 5 to 7 most important traits that a customers value in the product. If I'm selling of apparel, customers value size, fit, color, design, then fabric. If I'm selling a footwear, there's value, fit, size, then design. Then they also value about where to wear, like where can I wear. If I'm selling a skincare, people value about ingredients, efficacy, how fast will I get the result. So try to find 5 to 7 most important traits in your category that customers value. It depends different for each category. Then, for example, in shoes it can be comfort. Now find that emotion. After you have found the first step of most important traits, find that emotion that is most common among your category. Apparel is an emotion led by nostalgia and joy. Nobody is angry because of wearing an apparel. Joy and nostalgia. Whereas security can be when you're buying an insurance. Curiosity or fear of missing out can be more niche agnostic. You can use it anywhere. Motivated can be when I'm selling say Nike shoes. I want them to feel motivated. So find that one emotion you want to trigger with your particular category or product. Now mix the emotion with the value. Comfort, how can I say it in a nostalgic way? I can say it like this. Bring back comfort you thought was lost. This is a nostalgic way. Combining emotion and a value creates a good message. But it also requires a good copywriting also. It's not always that you combine two things and it always creates a good message. It requires a strong copywriting skill. Next, I can say comfort in an anger way. How? I can say that tired of shoes that torture your feet, meet comfort. Comfort being the name of the shoes. So that way also I can say the same thing, comfort with a different emotion. Next, comfort in a curiosity inducing way. Comfort plus curiosity equals could this be the most comfortable shoes ever? Find out. This is an actual headline of an ad. So this is how we can create an emotion plus value creates a good message. Then common patterns that work in a good messaging is as follows. Adding a metaphor does usually works in a good messaging. For example, slip into our shirts, there are second skin. So second skin becomes a metaphor for shirts that breathes with you. So that always creates a good, interesting way and interesting analogy also. Then extremes in ads always work, but there's always a line. Extremes in ads saying this is the most comfortable shoes or this is the least comfortable. So extremities in ads, people are easily hooked by it. Next, it can be social proof. Social proof creates a layer of trust. Next, messaging can be comparison between two things. The first thing I showed on David Ogilvy's ad, it was comparison between an electric clock and the sound of the Rolls Royce. Fourth can be future casting, where you are explaining them a future without the pain they are having in the present. That can be a good message. Then myth busting is always good because it attracts audiences, it creates polarizing effect, and it builds two different communities and divides. And it always is better for the ads. Always there is a line in every message that needs to be that never needs to be crossed. So how do I know if this messaging is working or not? What's the question here? These aren't directly you can say that okay, this messaging works, this messaging does not work, but there are few patterns we have analyzed. First, CTRs are always healthy for these kind of messages as they attract good audiences. Engagement is higher than average. Engagement can be like, comment or shares. Then soft video metrics are better. Soft video metrics include hook rate, hold rate on the videos, and average video playtime is also better. Then conversion rates are higher than average even if the CTR might be lower. Even if the CTRs are not encouraging, the conversion rates on ad is higher because they have a memorable effect, saying that this is a the good messaging has stayed with them, and hence they buy the product even though the landing page is not that optimized, even though the website is poorly built. So because the messaging is so strong, so the conversion rate is higher. And funnel progression metrics include landing page to add to cart ratio, add to cart to initiate checkout ratio. So all those are better for a good messaging. And whenever we have seen is, whenever a good messaging works, it works pretty fast. Otherwise it does not work. It picks up fast and as soon as you launch. That is the sign of a good messaging. Whenever you see that something clicks, it actually works pretty fast. Next, mistakes. Let's avoid these mistakes whenever we are creating a messaging. It can be failing in identifying what customers value in your product. The first step which we started with was 5 to 7 traits what customers value. Most brands miss out on that part itself and then expect why the messaging is not working or why the creative is not working. Because they have started from a place which was fundamentally wrong. Then ineffective ad copy is something that is missed upon. Ad copy is skimmed through just because you can anyone can write and everyone wants to write, and hence everyone thinks they're a copywriter, but it is actually a designated and a respectful job which requires immense amount of skill. Then wrong identification of strongest emotion. For example, I was referring to anger cannot be associated with an apparel. So try to identify strongest emotion which can be associated for a particular category. Inconsistent messaging. For example, I am talking about comfort here and then I am talking about something very different in another ad. So inconsistent messaging, people are confused. Don't believe that one ad, people are seeing just one ad from you. They are seeing multiple different ads because Facebook is always testing. So inconsistency in messaging in between two different ads will raise a lot of skepticism in the minds of customer. Neglecting ad frequency is a common parameter. If your messaging is working, then your goal should be to expand the reach and not just impressions. If you are expanding impressions, it can be that your frequency is very high and people might not be attracted even if it's a good message. Ignoring competitor strategies should never be the case. Always look at what competitors are doing, but don't always try to follow them. Contextualize it. Is it good for the brand you're working on? Is it bad? Contextualize it. Then couple of shortcuts which I was referring to when we started the video. How to find good messaging. A good messaging specifically speaks to one audience with one message. Then it can be also about scenario based messaging. For example, we recently launched for a footwear brand monsoon based messaging, monsoon based footwear messaging. It works pretty well because the scenario is like that. Then try to find out the top emotion what competitor ads are referring to. Try to dissect and find out what's the strongest emotion in your competitor ads. Then you can also look at just search for this product main value feature, like as in apparel. Main value feature can be comfort. Apparel, comfort, Reddit. Type the Reddit as a suffix. On Google, search through it and read through the comments of the customers. You will find a lot of good messages there, good messaging, ad angles. Also, you can look at what to look for when buying apparel, what to look for when buying footwear, or what to look for when buying particular type of shirt. So hunt for magazine websites when you type this in Google and just copy their lines. Magazine websites write some fantastic copywriting. You need not even think about it and just you can copy and use it in ads. It has worked majority of times for us. Then also monitor competitor ad reactions. Because in comments of competitor ads, you can see that people are unhappy with a particular purchase. Can you exploit that and speak about that unhappy purchase in your ad? Can you do that? Then restart high performing content. This is always when you have a failed messaging multiple times. Then restart your high performing content again. Even if it was running 6 months back, 8 months back, restart them. It usually works. Thank you. Thank you for watching.